So Nagasaki was actually the first area I was assigned to as a missionary. And that was extra special to me because my dad actually was called and served as a missionary in the Fukuoka mission as well. And so when he heard I was going to go to Fukuoka, he told me all the different areas he had served in, and Nagasaki was one of them. And so I got to serve there as well. And Nagasaki, most people have heard of Nagasaki because the atomic bomb was dropped on Nagasaki. Well, one of them was. And so I've known of people who think that it's deserted because of the radiation or whatever that they think is lingering there a bit. That's not the case. It's actually rebuilt. It's a thriving city that has a fairly large population. And a lot of Japan is like this, but Nagasaki especially is very hilly and it kind of forms a valley. And so instead of being kind of spread out in this with the epicenter and the city expanding outwards, it's actually more like a, whatever you call that. It's very narrow and long. And so if you're on the northern side of Nagasaki, it can take a long time to get all the way to the southern part of Nagasaki because of all the stoplights and everything else. And so that's kind of unique in the way that the city is organized. What's nice, well, what's different also is they have a streetcar system and laid out that goes all the way down because it's just a line, so it goes from the northern part of the city all the way down to the southern part of the city. And so that's convenient in terms of access, and it's just right on the roads, so cars can go over the tracks if they need to turn and all of that. And it's a very affordable. Public transportation in general and in any place in Japan is very well laid out. The infrastructure for public transportation is probably the best I've seen anywhere in the world in terms of just how it's laid out and the system they have for it. They're very good about it. And so that's how most people travel. Probably more people use public transportation than personal cars or vehicles. Nagasaki, as I said, was kind of in a valley, and as it's expanded, people have had to expand up onto the hills, and some of these hills are extremely steep, and so you'll see these long winding staircases going up these hills to get to these different houses. And Nagasaki, as other places as well though, has a large aging population. Japan as a whole has an aging problem. There's a lot more old people than there are young people. But because of that, there's all these old people living in these homes that you have to take these massive flights of stairs to get up to, that you're starting to see these mini gondolas almost, or like these chair things that go up the handrails that you can sit on, that old people can sit on, and it'll like take them up kind of like a ski lift or a ski gondola to where they need to, because otherwise they're not going to be able to get from their house down into the city, or if they even manage to get down, they wouldn't be able to get back up because it'd just be too much work. And so that's kind of a unique sight to Nagasaki, is just all the hills and the stairs. And in the mission, it's known for one of the worst biking areas just because of how hilly it is. Admittedly, so after I moved out of Nagasaki, I never had a problem with my bike because everything was a piece of cake compared to riding my bike around Nagasaki. The people there, compared to anywhere else, each place has their own kind of dialect or accent, and so they end sentences a little differently. But I feel like there wasn't really a whole lot of difference in terms of how they live their lives.